Also, the moon is shrinking. Did you know that?
What did you say?
It's what?
I didn't hear.
The moon is shrinking.
Oh, I thought you said it was shitty. I was like, what?
Brutal.
Ash and Zach are super smart. They went to college and learned a bunch of stuff. And Bo and Andrew didn't go to college because that's just the way life goes sometimes. What happens when you put them together and you try to make them learn? Grab your friends, let's listen together on Get Dumped on an Info Dump podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get Dumped On, an Info Dump podcast. You can't see because it's audio, but I was doing a fun little head bob when I said that. Maybe it'll come across in the levels, maybe not. Anyway, this is the podcast where four friends get together and one of them info dumps on the other three. The cast of friends has been a little rotating recently. Andrew has had some issues, but we love him anyway. And he's still editing them, so thanks, Andrew.
Is traveling issues?
Yeah,
Well,
right?
His issue is traveling.
His issue is that he's busy and has a life. Ugh.
Gross.
It's fine.
You know, I'm actually kind of concerned about his commitment lately, though.
Yeah.
But that's something we'll have to address.
We'll have that
internally.
conversation.
Yeah.
We'll
We're going to air our dirty laundry. So we kicked Andrew out. Just so you guys know.
But we still make him edit. We keep him in the basement with
In our commitment to always following the Four Friends Get Together format of the show, we have brought in another friend to serve as our fourth, and that is our good friend of the pod, friend of us in real life. That is Laine. Laine, would you like to introduce yourself? What are your qualifications?
Hi, Laine.
Hello.
Laine is our friend, and that qualifies her.
Yes, I'm Laine. I'm technically a research scientist, so I think that qualifies me to help with some things. I know, right? Honestly. But I do clinical research in cancer drug research.
Oh, good nerd.
So
Okay, we're good.
That's a bit of a
Yeah,
downer.
like an actual real nerd.
Yeah, it's a bit of a downer. Don't talk about it on the pod.
We're going to be talking about today.
Not relevant at all to anything today, but, a nerd nonetheless.
So with Laine introduced, we also have the regular members of the pod. We've got myself, I'm Zach. We've got Bo right over there. Bo, say hi.
Say hi, Bo.
There we go. And we have
Hi, Bo.
today's host. We have Ash, who is the new host.
Hello.
Why am I saying new host? Ash has hosted
Whoa,
a
yeah.
bunch of
I've
times.
hosted many episodes. I'm
Ash
brand
is
new.
brand new.
Yeah, many of which have been some of our best episodes. So
I was just born 5 minutes ago, and I'm ready to roll.
Woo.
No, that's not true.
still gooey from the womb.
Oh, no.
Yes, from my alien slime sack. That's right, folks. I was born in space, which ties into the theme of this episode. We're going to talk about space facts today. I saw some pretty dope space facts, and then I saw some more dope space facts. And so now I'm just going to dump on you a little quick dump about some fun space facts that I learned recently.
I love it. Hit me with them space facts.
I hope you're all excited to talk about space. Do you guys like space? How do you feel about space?
Yeah, it's too dark.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's too
terrifying,
dark.
but it is beautiful and wonderful. So love that.
I feel the exact same way. It is awe-inspiring and amazing, but also if I think about it too bad, it hurts my brain.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
existentially horrifying, but
Yes.
undeniably interesting.
Exactly. I'm glad we're all on the same page about it. So, the first thing I want to talk to you about is, did you know...
Ash,
What?
can you, before we get too far into this, can you close your door?
Did you not close my door when you left?
Andrew, edit this out. Andrew,
Leave it in. Leave it in. We do this podcast live.
Door has been closed. I am getting situated. So the first thing that I'm going to talk to you about today is, did you know that the Earth most likely had a ring at some point in its life?
Oh, it was engaged?
It wasn't engaged, no. You know like how Saturn has a ring and it's the best planet because it has a ring?
Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's very cool.
It's a long engagement for Saturn.
Yeah, perpetual, some would say. And I always thought, it'd be so cool if the Earth had rings. That would be sick as fuck. But after learning that the Earth did have rings, now I'm not so sure. And so let me tell you why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
tell me about it.
So, about 466 million years ago, there was an asteroid that had got too close to Earth and it broke apart, and the debris got caught in Earth's gravitational field, which created a ring of asteroid pieces that circled the Earth. And according to a article from Science Direct, for, quote, several tens of million years.
Wow.
Which is a very interesting way to phrase that.
Yeah.
So what was going on? You said this was 466 million years ago. Was there
Yeah.
anyone around to see the rings?
Was it just
Maybe some
bacteria?
sharks. How old are sharks? I don't remember.
Sharks are like 250 million years ago.
Nope, there was nothing. There was, maybe some bacteria.
I think
some
sharks are older than the rings of Saturn, though, aren't they?
They are older than Saturn's very
Yeah,
rings,
that was on
which
the
is
sharks
fucked up.
episode.
It was.
Yeah, so this was the Ordovician period, which was the ocean was full of mollusks and arthropods.
So all those mollusks got to see the rings for several tens of millions of years. And then
Nice.
when the asteroids decayed enough that they became too small that gravity didn't affect them as much, they fell and crashed into Earth. And the reason that they...
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
This was immediately after the Cambrian period.
Sure. Yes. And the reason that they think that it was a ring is because they found a bunch of asteroid craters that were in a linear pattern directly along the equator, which is where the ring would have been. And they were like all perfectly in a line. Because if they were just like random meteor patterns, obviously that would just be random impacts. But because these were linear, they hypothesized that it was a ring that they were being held together by gravity. And then they all fell at once in the line that they were in when they were circling the Earth.
I love
That's
that
cool.
Which is pretty
so
cool.
much. Yeah, I want to go
Right?
see the linear asteroid crashes.
Right? And like, I always thought, oh, having Earth rings, that would be sick as fuck. But what happens when they fall?
Yeah.
That's bad news bears for everybody who lives
The
in that
dinosaurs
area.
die. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always
real bad.
would have thought that, like, I don't know, when I think about rings of a planet, my brain just assumes that they're permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
right?
They clearly are not.
Mm-hmm.
They are not permanent. And they I don't know like how exactly they decayed, if they decayed from other asteroids like hitting them and then they got smaller and smaller, or if it was just like some type of natural decay. But at some point they got too small that they were no longer like in the gravitational field and they fell. Another interesting thing that was caused by rings, which they suspect, is that while they were orbiting the Earth, they cast big shadows on the Earth's surface, which makes sense.
Cool.
But this is speculated to have contributed to the coldest global cooling period that the Earth has had, called the Hernatian Icehouse period.
Mm-hmm.
And so because the rings were casting these really large shadows, it caused the Earth as a whole to cool down greatly.
Oh my God. So we need rings right now, though.
So we need rings
Yeah,
right
that'd be
now.
helpful.
And then they'll fall, and then they'll kill everybody who lives on the equator, and then that would be bad.
Yeah. Okay. We hate that part.
Well, you just need
That's
to
not good.
create some sort of artificial ring, maybe with
Yeah.
like solar
Yeah, yeah.
panels on it.
Yeah, satellites or solar panels on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
you
we create a big net and put it all the way around the Earth.
Okay,
like
I
a
love that.
Circus
Yes,
performer.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or just like a couple big umbrellas. I think we could make that work, and they
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah,
hurt
yeah.
anyone, when they fell.
And then that would
'Cause
contribute
that's
to the
just an umbrella.
shadows.
Exactly.
I think that's a really good plan, and we should do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so
I mean,
I
Bo
just
knows
thought,
that the best way to combat global warming is to harvest ice from a comet and drop it into the oceans.
Yep. And
Yep,
just,
that's it.
And as years goes, we need to get bigger ones. But yeah, just one giant ice cube and global warming countered.
Because we all know
Take
the most scientifically accurate show of our time is Futurama.
Uh-huh.
uh-huh. And so first of all, I love the fact that Earth had a ring. That's super fun. I always say that Earth should have a ring. I wonder what it would like look like during the day. Like, would the sun reflect off of it or no? Like, would the moon reflect off of it? Would it be shiny and like lit up, or would it just be like dark?
I like to think that it's like in Halo when you're on the Halo and you can see the ring of the halo in the
You can
sky.
see the halo.
Oh my-
You know,
Yeah,
a
you
halo.
can see the
Wait, the
halo.
halo from Halo?
Yeah, the Halo from Halo. We play as John Halo. That's why they called it that.
Yeah, I would like that. Like, that would be sick, you know?
I'm curious, what like layer of like atmosphere was the ring in? Do we know? Like, how much would that affect? Like, would it affect any layers of the clouds?
I think it was in space. Like, it was
Okay,
outside
it was like
of our
too far
atmosphere
out. Okay,
in our gravity. Yeah.
Yeah. fascinating.
Pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was very interesting. And I love the fact that the Earth had a ring. Let's bring that back, except for maybe not, as we discussed. Another fun space fact that I learned recently. Did you know that currently, right now, we have a temporary moon?
Yes, I've seen about this. I love her already.
We have a mini moon. We're going to have it for about 2 months. I don't think it has a name right now.
It's Moo. It's just short for Moo.
It's Moo. We got the moon and we got the Moo. Mm-hmm. It's a very tiny little asteroid in especially like in regular terms, but also just in space terms. It's only like 33 feet in diameter, but it has come close enough to Earth that it's gotten caught on our gravitational pull. So
that's
we will
shorter
have
than a giant squid.
Oh my God.
Wow. That's nuts.
That's fucked up.
So we'll have a second temporary mini moon orbiting our planet for 57 days. It is supposed to leave our gravity on November 25th and then get slingshot out towards the sun, where it's going to continue its journey, and then it's supposed to pass by us again in 2025.
That's so beautiful.
I'll be waiting.
For all my little
I'll be waiting for you, little Moo.
For all my little Prince listeners out there, I would love to sit on the mini moon and watch sunsets. That's beautiful.
That just sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
Or sit on the mini moon and watch Earth rise or Earth sets.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Earth rise on the moon, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so this little piece came from the Arjuna asteroid belt. Unfortunately, it's not going to be visible to us because it's too small, but we know that it's there, and that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have here, what should we name our temporary mini moon? How can we get it to stay? More moons. But we decided that its name is Moo, and I actually really like that.
Yeah, I do love Moo. That's extremely good, Bo.
And because it's not
like... It came out of my own. Smart filler.
And because it's not like actually orbiting the Earth forever, and like it doesn't like, it's not going to stick around for that long. It's not like technically a moon. They call them natural satellites or NEOs, near Earth objects, or NEAs, I think it is, near Earth asteroids. But that's way less fun, and I'm not going to be doing that.
Yeah, I'm going to call it the mini moon.
Moo.
It's a mini moon.
It's Moo.
I think that the temporary nature of it just makes it more special.
I agree.
Exactly.
We should appreciate it while we have it. And so anytime that you're thinking about yourself in the universe, just remember that we got a little Hey Moon hanging out with us for a little while until November 25th.
Hey Moo.
And I think that's
hope
great.
You stick around.
That is
Hey,
so
Moo.
beautiful. Thank you.
I love you so much.
We should figure out some way to create like a gigantic sign that is visible from space that it can read and know that we want it to stay.
Yes,
should make
Space
it-
Rock knows how to read, and we know that.
Yeah, we should make it 33 feet long so it's the same size as it.
Oh,
I don't know if that would be visible
so
from
cute.
space,
It
though.
probably wouldn't, but it would be cute.
Yeah, that's
But it
true.
would be cute, and that's what matters.
We should make a life-size replica of it somewhere.
Yes.
Of Moo.
Of
And then
Moo.
we put a little mustache on it or something.
Our sweet and beloved Moo.
We dress it up for holidays.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Well, if you're excited about the prospect of a temporary moon, we have another moon. It's not technically a moon.
Oh.
Again, but wait, there's more moons? Again.
You keep saying
It's not technically a moon. Because this one is in a co-orbital space where it sort of orbits the Earth and then it sort of orbits the sun. It's like caught in between the two gravitational fields. And so it like orbits, it has like a weird orbit where it like kind of is near the Earth, and then it's like goes out, and then it gets kind of like pulled in by the sun, and then it gets pulled back in by the Earth. It's doing a funky little dance up there in space. Again, it's a NEA, a near Earth asteroid, or an NEO, a near Earth object. This one actually does have a name. It's a Hawaiian name, which means, I forgot to write down what it means. Oh no. And I wrote, it means, and then I didn't fill in the part that it means. Hold on, I'll find it. Find it. It is a Hawaiian word that refers to an oscillating celestial object.
Well, that sounds accurate.
Well, there you
So
go.
that's fun. And
Yeah.
then I'm gonna have my little pronunciation guide because I don't speak Hawaiian, unfortunately. Why isn't it loading? Okay, cool. There we go.
Look, all sounds are illegal in this house today. That's been established.
I know, right? Komo'oleva is what it's called, is its name, which is a very beautiful name. And so it's it's a 40 to 50 meter in diameter asteroid, essentially, that is hanging out in a co-orbital space between the Earth and the sun. It's going to be sticking around for a few hundred years, so get used to this extra little moon. And a fun little fact about Kamo'oleva is that it is actually a part of our moon that got dislodged from the moon's surface by an asteroid impact.
Oh my
Oops.
gosh. That's beautiful.
So an asteroid hit the moon, junked a chunk off, blasted it out into space, scientists actually can tell the exact crater that it came from because it's the exact size of the chunk that is in space, which is pretty cool.
Oh.
And how big did you say it was?
40 to 50 meters in diameter.
Oh.
So pretty small in the grand scheme of things still.
Yeah, but still pretty big if you think about this 40 to 50 meter rock. It's a big rock.
Yeah, that's a big rock by Earth standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not my fault that space standards fuck up all the scales of things.
Space is too big, and that's not our fault.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
our fault. I don't got nothing to do about that.
Yeah.
And so, it's hypothesized that it's part of the moon. They don't know for sure. So there are plans to send out probes to get samples from it and to test to see if the samples match our moon from this thing. But they're pretty sure, especially because they have that crater that's the exact size of it. They're pretty sure that it was blasted off from the moon, but they're not like 100% sure until they do the actual tests, which makes sense. You know, science likes to be sure about stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Classic science, making sure.
And so the moon had a little
Bunch
moon
of
baby.
nerds.
Right. Measure
Okay, but what do we call moon babies?
Measure twice, cut once. That's what it is. That's all we need.
Yeah, that's what it is. Moon baby already has a name, bro.
Well, yeah,
It's
but what do we call the
Oleva.
concept of a moon baby? Like a maybe? A movie?
A moon,
Movie.
a moonfant, a moon infant,
Moon?
Moon
A
Junior.
moonborn?
moon junior, moonborn,
Moon year.
born of the moon,
Mm-hmm.
moon year. That's it. It's the moon year,
Yes.
comma Oleva.
Mhm.
And I thought this was particularly fun. One, because it's fun to know about space junk that's, hanging out in the sky. It's fun that
Yeah.
it's like a quasi moon, that it's like oscillating in different gravitational fields, which is fucking wild. Fucking gravity's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I thought it was funny because it's basically how our moon was formed, right? The most widely accepted theory for how our moon was formed is that billions of years ago, a planet that was supposedly around the size of Mars collided with Earth, which caused a large amount of molten debris to get flung into space, and eventually that solidified into the moon. And so Apollo missions in the 60s and 70s confirmed that the chemical composition of the moon and the Earth are very similar. The moon is just full of a lot of denser elements because they think that as it got flung into space, all of the lighter elements, like literally like less dense elements, got either vaporized or flung out into space, which just left the iron deposits, which are very heavy. And so the moon is very high in iron. Also, I learned that when the dude from research on the moon, did you know that the moon had fucking volcanoes on it?
That's fucking wild.
I don't like that.
That is, I did not. I thought the moon was just dead
Yeah,
rock, and it is
exactly.
not. Well,
Yeah.
it is now, but
Yeah. Thank
I
goodness.
don't.
Huh.
This interferes with my predetermined idea of what the moon was like in a way that I don't appreciate.
Yeah.
right? Like you think of a moon as just like, that space rock that's just hanging out up there.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Well, it's not. So when it was first flung into space, it was literally molten because it was so hot from the debris of the two planets smashing into each other that it was like hot molten rock that got flung into space. And so the moon was once covered in an ocean of magma.
Oh.
And there were active volcanoes up until previously we thought about 1 billion years ago, but now there's evidence that maybe there was volcanoes active up to about 50 million years ago. Active volcanoes on the moon.
That's
And-
way. That's
Wow.
way.
It's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's too soon in time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only were there active volcanoes, but because of the heat of the impact, the moon was covered in a global ocean of magma for at least tens of million years, up to maybe hundreds of millions of years. It was actually magma just being held together by gravity, which is buck fucking wild.
Yeah.
That's metal as fuck.
Also,
That's
Right?
so-
A molten moon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Molten Moon. That's a good band name. We need to
That is
add
a
that
really
to our
good
list
band name.
of good band names that have come, like Australian Alcatraz from the last one.
Yes.
Molten
That's a
Moon
great
kicks
name.
ass.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
Did it like? I wonder what a molten moon looked like. Like, did it like glow? Because like lava is like bright and glows. Like, would it have
Right?
glowed? That's wild.
That was my exact question. Like, what did it
Yeah.
look like when it was molten?
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Yeah. Would it have been brighter than the moon is now or not as bright?
or not as bright because it couldn't reflect any sunlight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really wish that we knew someone. I don't know
Mhm.
anyone who studies space. I don't know any astrophysicists or,
Yeah. Me
anybody
neither.
who does anything with the space studies. So
Mm-mm.
we're flying blind here.
It's just a bunch of wild speculation.
Mhm.
But that's fucking wild, right?
It is.
And now
Yeah.
the surface of the moon is mostly cooled magma, right? So lava flowed up through the cracks in the moon's crust. It filled all the impact basins from all the meteors that have hit it over the years. And now there's cooled magma all over the surface of the moon.
That's beautiful. And now
Wow.
she's beautiful and silver and calm.
And glowing and shiny.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Mhm.
And also, like, have you heard of lunar soil?
I don't think so.
So the moon is covered in space dust. It's covered in like
yeah.
dirt, essentially. But it's not dirt. It is meteorites that have shattered and melted rocks on the moon's surface. And through that impacts, they get ground up. And then it creates this lunar soil that's like pulverized rock from meteorite impacts.
Wow. And so this is extremely rich in iron. So you need to go eat lunar soil if you're anemic.
If you're anemic.
Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm getting?
Just by the handful.
Okay, perfect. This makes sense.
Are you allowed to flavor it with anything?
Spinach.
That's up
it.
to your personal preference. And I think that's like contributes to why you can't actually grow anything on the moon. I mean, we're disregarding the fact that like it
Yeah.
doesn't have the same atmosphere and it has different gravity and like all that stuff. But like the soil itself is just like meteorites with no like, it's just like, can you
Yeah.
grow anything in iron, really heavily ironed soil? I don't think anything would grow in that.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, I don't
super
know.
interesting.
I'm
I
not
was wondering,
farmer. I
like-
wouldn't know.
I know, right?
Is it? Can you what would happen if you like dragged a magnet through the soil?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, NASA, if you're listening to this podcast, can you just shoot somebody up to the moon real quick?
Exactly.
Bring a magnet along.
Those people who are stuck in the ISS, just send them on a jaunt.
Oh yeah, can they just pop down to the moon's surface really quick?
No big
They're
deal.
really stuck up there for like a long time, aren't
Yeah. God,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I
hope
think
they're-
until
I
like
hope they're gonna be okay.
January or something. God.
they? That's
No, I'm
messed
sure
up.
that NASA probably has.
Matt Damon on standby to save him. Oh,
Are you googling it?
No,
I
but
thought I
don't
heard.
know.
I thought I heard clickety clacking.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's probably Barnaby because he decided that he needs to be friends and sit on the table.
Oh, Barnaby.
And I'm trying
Friend of
to
the
keep
pod,
him.
Barnaby.
getting,
trying to keep
getting
him
in the
from-
way.
Trying to keep him from hitting his tail on the microphone.
Oh, Barnaby.
Mhm.
Luca's sleeping in the bed next to my desk like an angel.
Oh.
And I have one more moon fact for you.
Yay! We love moon facts.
There's another not moon.
What if
Mhm.
the moon is not one entity, but really two moons that smashed into each other,
Oh my god.
Oh, they became one.
then became one?
Are
So
they
I
married?
learned recently they fuse like a Steven Universe gem, dog.
Amazing.
So I learned this very recently. There are strange discrepancies between the near side and the far side of the moon.
Just like the Pink Floyd album.
Wow.
Yeah. The thickness of the crust
Mhm.
is different. It is 43 miles thick on the near side, and it is 93 miles thick on the far side,
Oh.
which is
Wow.
like over twice as thick on the other side, which is weird. Like, why would the crust be a different thickness on one side versus the other?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why would?
There is also a contrast in the geological makeup between sides of the moon. So there's a concentration of radioactive elements on the near side of the moon. And there's also a richer history of volcanism on the near side of the moon versus the far side of the moon does not have as many radioactive elements and does not have as much volcanism activity.
Whoa.
And so why
Weird.
are the two sides of the moon so different from each other if they came from Earth?
Yeah, and why are they like? Why is it so that? Because one side of the moon is always pointing the Earth
Yeah.
because of the way that our orbits sync up, right? Is that
Mhm.
because it's like the less massive side of the moon or something?
It could be like I don't know, like maybe the magma is heavier and so like it affects that. I don't know. Again, I'm not a space scientist.
You're not?
I fucking wish I was, but it hurts my brain too much, man. I think if I
Yeah.
actually was a space scientist, I would have goo coming from my ears all the time because it hurts my
Oh.
brain.
Yeah, they have to do a
Okay.
lot of physics.
Yeah, so this is actually I've looked up magnetism of moon soil.
Oh, tell us.
So it's the regolith, right? Which is because it's pulverized rock.
Uh-huh.
And it says that each glassy shell of each dust particle's glassy shell has specks of iron embedded in every single one. And so they are developing magnetic filters to pull the dust from the air in the moon, on the moon.
Oh.
So they're like experimenting with using magnets as filters for
that's so
like filtering
cool.
the dust out of the moon. Because the dust is apparently super duper abrasive and like wears through spacesuits like nothing else.
That makes sense if it's got iron in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
so
there's just
interesting.
Pure iron in every single grain of lunar soil.
Oh,
That is fascinating.
that is very interesting. And so the going back to the whole the moon has two sides thing.
Mhm.
It's not clear to researchers or scientists like how these differences relate to the moon's formation. Like maybe it was in something how like because it was molten for so long, maybe the gravity like pulled all of the stuff to one side versus the other and it kind of like bisected it that way like as it was cooling.
Mhm.
Or maybe it was the volcanic activity. Maybe it was something to do with one side getting bombarded by space objects and not the other side.
Yeah.
And like maybe that affected the makeup or like the crust thickness. There is a possibility, and I want to put that in big caps, a possibility, unproven, not at all tested, but hypothesized that maybe the moon could be part of Earth and part of the planet that collided into Earth, which they call Theria. Like maybe it's part Earth, part Theria, and they like fuse together, and then that's kind of why there's like two different sides.
Oh my god.
Because it's like not only from Earth, like it's also from this other object, which would be fucking sick.
Yeah, exactly.
The
We made a
corpse of some
beautiful
other
child
planet.
together.
Yeah, they made a beautiful
I guess that's the nicer way
child
of putting
together.
it.
There's two trains of thought about this.
Scientists disagree.
It's corpses or it's a beautiful child, one or the other.
Well, regardless if it is a corpse or a beautiful child, that beautiful child did die because the moon
Aw.
does not have any volcano activity
jeez.
anymore, and
That's
it is just a
tragic.
rock.
Yeah.
Having a
Wow.
good time till you brought up a dead baby moon.
Yeah, you know. I mean, it's billions of years old, so like,
Yeah.
how baby are we talking? But
That's a great point.
They age slowly.
yeah, they take a billion years to get to adulthood.
Mhm. No, that's their teenage years.
Those damn kids.
Mhm.
Or maybe when the moon was forming and molten, like another object crashed into it and then it fused together. Like they need to do more tests. So they need to get back to the fucking moon. They need to do samples of both sides of the moon
Mhm.
because I need to know. And scientists are still trying to figure out exactly the mysteries behind the moon. And I mean, I think that's pretty neat. I like that there are still things that we don't know and that things that they're still trying to figure out. And like, it's not easy to study the moon. Obviously, you can't just like pop up to the moon for a quick little research trip. So,
Yeah.
I love that. I
Well,
agree.
you got to go up and get those moon whales.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Also, the moon is shrinking. Did you know that?
What did you say?
It's what?
I didn't hear.
The moon is shrinking.
Oh, I thought you said it was shitty. I was like, why?
Oh, I would never say that. I fucking
Brutal.
love the moon. I love the moon more than the sun. Like, I understand the sun is necessary for like bringing heat and it brings life. Great.
Who
I
likes
love that.
life?
Great. That's fantastic. I fucking love the moon, man.
Mm-hmm.
Little shiny rock you can see at night. It
Yeah.
affects the tides. I fucking love
Yes.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is shrinking.
Oh.
The moon has shrunk by 150 feet or 50 meters in diameter over the last few hundred million years.
Well, yeah, it's only shrinking because it's cold.
That is, I mean, that's why it's shrinking because its interior is cooling.
My
As it
gosh.
cools, the moon
No, I
contracts
get it,
and
moon.
wrinkles.
I get it.
Does this mean that, like, in a couple more million years, werewolves will become were-corgis?
Oh, little weird corgi.
Oh, little cuties.
Adorbs.
Oh, he's so angry. And because it is shrinking, it can cause seismic activity on the moon, known as moonquakes.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Because the moon's
another good band name, Moonquake.
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 Mm-hmm.
Moonquakes because the moon's surface is brittle. So as it shrinks, it cracks, it develops fault lines. The fault lines can form like cliff-like steps to form on the moon's surface. They call them scarps, which is fun.
That is fun.
But in the Apollo missions, they put seismometers on the moon, and they recorded 28 moonquakes between 1969 and 1977. So,
Wow, that's really interesting. So there's moonquakes going on. So okay, so they're making scarps. Are they making like other like geologic formations?
I only read about the scarps.
That's fair.
But I don't think that that's the end all be all of that.
I guess since it's cool, like they're not doing like the like mid-ocean ridge thing where they're like continually like putting out more lava and spreading.
Oh yeah. There's no more volcanic activity, so it's really just like breaking the surface, causing like fault lines and cliffs and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it that the moon has like insanely high mountains like that dwarf all of our mountains, or is that Mars?
I think that's Mars. As far as I know, the moon is not. I mean, it's not flat completely, but I think that Mars is more mountainous than the moon. But I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
That feels right to me.
It feels right to me, but I also don't. If you're a moon scientist or a space scientist out there listening, let us know if we're wrong.
There are probably so many scientists out there who listen to our episodes and are just screaming internally the whole time.
Like, you guys are fucking idiots. Listen, I know very much
nothing about the moon.
I know very much about one specific thing, and that specific thing is primates and their evolution. And other than that, I don't really know. And so this is my layman's research on the moon. There are like landslides and stuff that are caused by the shrinking, the moon quakes. But astronauts are like a little bit worried because it's like, if it keeps getting smaller and smaller, is it going to break apart completely one day? Are we going to be able to like study it, and for how long? If that happens, what's going to happen to the Earth? You know?
Yeah. See, this is why
lots of implications.
This is why we have to get back to the moon right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now, immediately. I'm calling NASA.
Get NASA on the phone.
Exactly.
We need to know what's going to happen.
Get off your ass. Get us to the moon.
And like, because we're rapidly approaching science fiction being reality, like if there's a moon base, what does that mean for the implications of a moon base in the future?
If we lost our moon, could we get another moon?
I mean, we have quasi-moons. So like, if a big enough piece comes by and it gets caught in Earth's gravity, why not,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we may not be able to get another moon the same way we got the first one. I think it would be a little catastrophic.
What happens if something impacts the Earth again,
Yeah. I mean, well, the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs was big enough to kill all the dinosaurs, but not big enough to make a new moon. So it would have to be a really fucking big one.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
It would probably cause everybody on Earth to die, probably.
Yeah, hate that.
But hey, we might have another moon, so,
I mean, moon's pretty cool, though. Moon's pretty coul.
It's a give and take. I understand.
Yeah, like, you lose 8 billion people, you gain a moon.
You win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some.
I can't even count the number of beetles we would lose. It's so many.
Oh my gosh, billions.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't think anyone can even count the number of beetles that currently exist anyway.
That's probably true.
That's an impossible task, probably.
Beetles. What is it, like 8 beetles to 1 human? Is that the like estimate?
I would be surprised if it was that low, to be honest.
That's fair.
There are more species of beetle than like any other kind of animal that exists, I think is the...
I just think that's amazing.
I think if I heard when I was like reading a lot of like old science writing for one of the last episodes, one of them, I can't remember who, one of them said that if God was a person, he'd be an entomologist.
So true, dude. So true.
And we still haven't even...
They still haven't even discovered all of the species of... Is that what you're going to say?
Oh, no. I was going to go back to the moon.
Oh, let's go back to the moon. Yeah, this is not a beetle podcast, okay?
I was just going to say, we still haven't even definitively decided if the moon, if there's a man in the moon or if it's a rabbit in the moon. So there's
That's true.
I wasn't crazy when I said that.
We never thought you were crazy, Bo. I just said I never heard of that.
You were like, what are you talking about? Silly Bo, just making shit up again.
We never said that. We never said this came up before.
There's audio evidence of it.
All I said was, what? I've never heard of that. What's that about?
And then you guys laughed at me, and I tried to explain it, and then you guys looked it up to fact check me. Yeah,
What episode was that? Do you remember?
I kept the receipts.
It's apparently one that I missed because I didn't know.
It's a previous episode callback. I wish Andrew was here. He would know. Callback. Andrew, can you insert what episode that was when you're editing this? And also tell us if Bo's recollection of events is correct.
I feel justified, and I'm going to leave the podcast now. You guys can go ahead and enjoy your conversation.
Bo, if I recall, we Googled it on that episode, and we're like, oh, it's a thing, and we talked about it. So, like, I don't think anybody called you crazy.
You did. That's why you Googled it. You didn't believe anything about me. This is stupid, Bo. Let me look this up. Oh, I guess you're right, Bo. But never got an apology for it.
If that actually happened, I'm very sorry, Bo.
It's okay.
And so, yeah, I learned a bunch of facts about the moon recently, and I just wanted to share them with you all because, well, it's not only about the moon. The Earth had rings. That's fucking nuts.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got onto sort of a moon track because I just started learning stuff about the moon, and I was like, oh, dang, that's pretty cool.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ash. Those are very good space facts.
That was all of my space facts that I have for you today.
Does anyone else have any space facts?
There's a rabbit on the moon.
There is a rabbit.
Or a man.
It might be made of cheese. I don't know. I asked Wallace and Gromit. They said cheese. There's a lot of theories still. But it's iron-rich cheese.
My favorite speculation for why no aliens have contacted us is because the Earth formed relatively early in the history of the universe, and so none of the other aliens have had as much time to evolve as we have. And so,
I mean, that's a fun thought. I wish that that's not the case because I really want there to be like intelligent alien races that exist in the universe because I think that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
But if it's that way, then that's the way it goes. Oh, did you know that the moon's getting further away from us?
It's getting smaller. It's getting farther. It's got to make up its mind.
It's trying to recede.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that hurts my feelings. I know. I'm going to go listen to like a Noah Khan song about this. That really upsets me.
I kind of also want to leave Earth, though.
I mean, I do get that, but I can't handle the emotional distance of the moon. That really hurts.
Yeah. The moon started out about 10 times closer to the Earth than it is now, and it's moving further away. It moves about 3.5 centimeters a year farther away from us.
Oh, man. And this side of the bed just gets colder.
It just gets colder and colder.
I will say I don't feel like I have any fun space facts, but I have fun sci-fi recommendations. My favorites are Martha Wells. She does great sci-fi, and she did the Murderbot Diaries, which I love dearly. And then
I do want to.
Oh yeah, those. They're fantastic. And then Becky Chambers has some really good sci-fi as well, specifically focusing on space travel, and I have loved those as well.
I did not know that Becky Chambers wrote stuff about space travel.
Yeah, she has a couple different series, and her like novella series is like a nice like fun like techno future utopia, but then she has a space travel series as well about like humans in the future living on like a fleet of ships in the galaxy, and that like living on planets is really uncommon. Anyway, it's cool.
Yeah, Wall-E.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like the Quarians.
Wall-E.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my space recommendations is go read some good sci-fi.
I got one. Have you heard of Star Wars?
No, but why don't you tell me the story of it?
Yeah.
I've forgotten every single space-oriented piece of media that I've ever encountered.
The Endurance? That's not right.
The Expanse?
Expanse, that's it.
Those books are really good.
That's about space, and it's sci-fi.
Yeah. Warhammer 40,000 has a lot of outer space content.
And like the thing that gets me, the fact about space that really gets my brain hurting is that when they say that the universe is constantly contracting and expanding, right? And it's like, if the universe is all the observable, like it's the only observable stuff that we can see, but then how is it expanding? What is it expanding into? Because if the universe is all that we know, how could there be something outside of it for it to expand? I can't think about it that much. I already have a headache.
Oh God, same. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh
like,
man.
How can it expand if that's all that we know exists? And then
yeah. Exactly. And also, where is the moon going? Why is she leaving us?
Yeah. Hey, come back, the moon. Hey,
Baby,
the moon.
back.
Baby, come back. What you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to get a giant lasso and lasso the moon.
I think that this will go well with our net. With the
you can tie it to the net.
Exactly.
We are solving all of the Earth's moon problems right now.
You just
We've
need a
got this,
giant
gang.
cage and a carrot, and we'll get the rabbit to pull them in closer.
Perfect.
This says that if you were on a spaceship that could continuously accelerate at 1G, you'd be able to cross the entire Milky Way in 12 years from your perspective, but it would be 100,000 years.
I hate that.
That Zach, why would
I don't
you
like
say
that at
that to
all.
me? Why would you say that to me?
That hurts my brain.
Yes.
Right?
But then if you come back, does the time dilation work in reverse?
I
Unfortunately,
don't
no.
think so.
It's not how time works.
No, that's just what the Interstellar was all about, that, right?
Yeah, that's true. And we know that that's like 100% how the universe works.
Yeah.
What, do you think Christopher Nolan would lie to us?
You think that someone would just write movies based on nothing?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. Zach, do you want to take us out?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Get Dumped on FotP podcast.
Stop
What was everybody's favorite thing that they learned?
Moo. Moo's my favorite.
Moo!
Yeah, Moo's beautiful. Moo's my best friend.
Yes.
And
We love you, Moo.
I
We're going to
do.
miss you when you leave.
Who's our bestie?
yeah.
My second favorite thing was being justified.
Bo, you're welcome. I'm glad.
Thank you. You're more than welcome to come back anytime as my special guest.
I'm glad. Okay, good. My favorite thing was the other near-Earth object that's in a toxic situationship with the sun and
Oh my
keeps on
gosh,
going back
yes.
and forth. Yeah.
My favorite thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is my least favorite thing, but that makes it my most favorite thing, is the idea of the molten moon.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's
the
good.
molten moon. So good. And for me, it was the two moons. Why is one side of the moon different than the other?
Yeah, that's wild.
Why are they different? Why are they different thicknesses? That's
Mhm.
fucked up
Yes, the moon dead child baby.
situation. Steven
Yeah.
Universe gem fusion,
Mm-hmm.
dead baby child moon. Pretty nuts. Although this whole time researching this, I was just like, that's crazy. That's wild. Oh my gosh, I never knew that. So super great. It was super fun to research this one. So I hope you liked listening to it.
Absolutely. It was a delight. And it didn't devolve into discussing the entropy and eventual heat death of the universe until the very end. And so
The
that
sun
was
will
better.
stop working at some point.
The sun
And it'll-
will come out tomorrow, maybe.
Maybe. Except for when it won't, and we'll freeze to death. We'll all be dead by the
Oops.
time
Yeah,
that
exactly.
happens. It's
We'll be
fine.
long dead by then. It won't
Good,
be our
good.
problem.
And then
Good.
our bones will become space dust and will become one with the very universe in which created us.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, Zach, take us out.
Hey, everybody, thanks for listening to
Stop
Get
it.
Dumped on. Hey, everybody. Oh, no, now I can't
Oh
talk.
God,
right
he's stuck.
Oh, God, I'm
Loop.
stuck. Well, wasn't that great? Thanks for listening to Get Dumped On, an InfoDump podcast. The podcast where four friends get together and one info dumps about the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was Ash. And Bo is here. And say bye, Bo.
Bye, Bo.
Bye, Bo.
And I have been here. My name is Zach.
Say bye, Zach.
Bye.
Bye, Zach.
Bye, Zach.
And Laine was say bye, Laine.
Laine, thank you so much for stepping into Andrew's shoes.
Absolutely. It was a joy. Thank you for letting me guest on the pod.
Is there anything that you want to
Anytime.
plug? Yeah, any pluggables you want
There's
to plug?
absolutely
Is there
nothing. Get your cancer
What have
screenings,
you
though,
got going on?
folks.
Get your cancer screenings. Get your
Yeah.
HPV vaccine.
Exactly. Do
Mhm.
all
I
that
can't
stuff.
get those.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
you have
you're
to
gonna
talk
die.
to your doctor about whether or not you are able to get them at, like, you know, your personal stage of health, but get them
As
if you
see,
can.
I'm anti-vax, so I can't. Not by I'm not anti-vax by choice, just by health.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's unfortunate.
It sure is. That's why I gotta watch out for rusty nails.
I mean,
Here's
I
one
think
weakness.
everyone should watch out for
Exposed
rusty
kryptonite.
nails.
That's
but-
true. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm on super high alert every day I
Yeah.
walk for rusty nails.
That's
Every
what-
day I
they're
live in
like,
terror of rusty nails.
they're like, yeah, you gotta use a wooden stake to kill a vampire. It's like that'll kill just about anyone too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the moon, though. I wouldn't
the
say it
moon.
would do anything against the moon.
Mm-mm.
What if it was a really, really big steak?
Maybe. It has to be made of something stronger than iron, though, you know?
Oh.
Okay, listeners, this is your homework for the week, is
Make me a
calculate
steak.
for us how big a steak would have to be to damage the moon. Send us a message on Instagram at Get Dumped On Podcast or visit Get Dumped On Podcast or podpage.com/Get Dumped On Podcast. Use the contact box and let us know your calculations for how big a steak would have to be to break the moon in half.
Or if you are a space scientist and everything that we said was dumb and stupid, let us know. Come on the pod and teach us about space for real, because I did my research, but sometimes I could be wrong. I'm not infallible.
It happens. Everyone's wrong
Hey,
sometimes.
I think you're infallible.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Ash and Zach are super smart. They went to college and learned a bunch of stuff. And Bo and Andrew didn't go to college because that's just the way life goes sometimes. What happens when you put them together and you try to make them learn? Grab your friends, let's listen together on Get Dumped On an Info Dump Podcast.
We are floating on a space rock. Okay, bye.
There are rabbits in the moon.
Whoa.
I'm gonna hit stop.